Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was in English or French.
It was German.
So, yeah, would it be okay if I ask you to do a 10-minute intro today, tomorrow for the content creation session?
Yeah, it's okay. Tomorrow do the 10-minute intro.
Okay.
And today,
after, yeah.
Today's 15 minutes time slot, right? So like 13 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes. How long should I stay on stage?
Actually, you have 15 minutes on stage, but what we recommend is 10 minutes talks plus 5 minutes Q&A, but it's completely up to you.
Okay, I see.
Your stage, and you can do anything you want.
Perfect. And Q&A is then regarding the chat, so people write it there in the public channel as a chat, or?
Yeah, the chat and the audience. You can choose which question you want to answer, actually, because I'm sure you're going to have more more question than time to answer it.
Yeah, and people will can they talk in the audience to me, or?
Actually, we ask everyone to mute their mic, and Ludmila is here to make sure this is done. She has the control of the mic of everyone, so if someone messes with her, she's going to react. So yeah, she can actually kick people out of the room if they disturb the talks as well. So you don't have to worry about that. She's there for that, and she has the power to kick people out of the room. So yeah, I lost what I was gonna say. Yeah, I was talking about tomorrow. So tomorrow is content creation. You will have a 10 minutes or 15 minutes intro as you want. Then there will be 4 lectures. Actually, maybe just 3. There is one that still needs to be confirmed. I can send you the program if you need, so it can help you for the introduction, maybe. Do you want me to send you the program of tomorrow?
I think it's I think it's also on the website, right? I have it already there.
It is on the website, actually. Yes. Yeah. You just have to click on content creation and filter for the you choose track content creation using the filters, and you choose first day, because we have 2 content creation sessions. May I suggest you make sure that you are in the virtual worlds conference room.
Okay.
So
I will check that. And if tomorrow if you lose a track for tomorrow, I could also talk about the track about for example volumetric in content creation or something like this. If you lose a speaker for.
Yeah, you can. You can totally do that. It's no problem. Just hello Akihiko, how are you? You're in a dancing mood. I can see that.
And also for the Q&A, what happened this morning, sometimes people, it took them some time to react. So we just told them that they can use the raise hand option, and they just raise their hands, I call their names, and then they can ask their questions, because they weren't that much interacting in the public chat. I'll make sure to remind people again before we start the next conferences, they can also ask questions and interact together in the public chat.
Okay, and then how can I select them if they raise their hand? Do I get some kind of symbol then? If somebody...
Yeah. So you see on the left side of your Virbella screen, you have all the names on the blue panel. And for example, look at my name. If I raise my hand, my name should become greenish color. Oh. You see?
I see like 10 people on the left, but I think there are more people in this room right now.
Yeah, you have to scroll down maybe a little bit.
I can see. Okay, I see. I can scroll down. Yeah, okay. I wasn't aware. Okay, then I can. Okay, I see.
So
then I can.
Yeah. So what I did this morning, I can also take care of it later today. Basically, I would raise their hands. When the person raised their hands, I out the name, and then I told them that they can ask a question. Because if you ask people just to ask their question, it could happen that 2 or 3 of them ask at the same time, which is a bit problematic. So I just did it like this.
Okay, I see. And so they wouldn't use the public chat. I mean, there's not a chat channel for this room, right?
You can use the public chat. I will remind them again that use it. It's just that this morning nobody used it.
Yeah, okay, I see, okay. Yeah, so I would see how much time is there for questions in the end, and okay.
Sounds good. Hi. How are you?
Hello. Virtual busy.
Yeah.
So, who is your first person?
Oh, it's done. The first person will be Sven. I hear a lot of background noise on your mic. Just when you're talking. So the first person will be Sven at 3:20, so in 19 minutes, and then you will be at 3:35 till 4. So the total
So
time.
what time is it now?
Lumila, je fais couper le micro de la personne qui fait du bruit avec son micro. N'hésite pas à faire la même chose en cas de...
So it's 5 p.m.
Je crois que justement c'est. My question is: it your mic that makes like a lot of background noise or not?
Very hard to listen. So Mike is chatting.
No, that's perfect.
This is not you, Akihiko. That was someone else.
So there's someone else. Okay. Okay. Because those are the only 2 people open. Okay, right. So Sven is starting in 18 minutes, and then you're up at 3:35. So in 34 minutes. And it's 25 minutes question, so you do your presentation, and then there's a time for Q&A in the 25 minutes.
Okay.
Do you want to? Yeah.
Chat, please. Very hard to listen.
Allô Franck? Je suis
Hello.
Hi.
Bonjour.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Dear viewers, we will be starting the presentation in about 1 or 2 minutes. Could you please turn off your mic and talk during the presentation? We will have a Q&A normally after each presentation, in which you could ask your questions, please. Thank you. Sven, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start it. It's 19:20, 3:20. It's time.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Great to see you here. Hopefully you can hear my voice quite clearly. For me, it's the first time actually today presenting on a virtual stage. It's quite impressive, and I think we're already quite into this topic of social VR because we are all inside here. I think someone has mic not muted, and I'm here someone typing actually the background. Okay, now it's gone perfectly. Yeah, please keep your mics all muted all the whole time, otherwise it will be a bit confusing for the rest. Unfortunately, when I've switched back to the presentation, I can't see you anymore, but in the end, we will have a bit time for a quick short and answering questions. So actually, I'm the CEO of VOLUCAP. VOLUCAP is a volumetric capture stage based in Berlin, next to Germany, in Germany. And we are focusing on creating humanoid avatars, or not avatars, but real recordings of humans and bringing them into virtual realities and virtual worlds. And our focus is more to keep it as, I would say, authentic as possible. But as you see, the current state of technology is not there yet when it comes to real-time performance. So it's quite impressive to see how the whole technology has evolved over the last years, I would say. But currently, if you want to present a human being fully authentic in real time, this is currently not really possible. But let me dive into it a bit deeper. I mean, I think currently we are all aware of the current situation which we're living in. So due to COVID-19, this is currently my new home office space, actually. So when I'm not at our capture stage, I look like this. So I'm currently staying about 8 hours per day in virtual reality, doing all my daily business works, things like calls, Excel, doc, and everything. And yeah, as you can see at home, I'm using the Oculus Quest device wireless connected to my PC. And when I go out for shopping, I'm actually wearing the N-Real glasses to react to incoming mails and read and watch information during my daily activities. So I could say I'm quite strongly involved in virtual reality right now. And since 3 weeks, actually, I'm already doing it. And therefore, I would say my perception of reality has changed quite drastically during the last days. And what I find what is interesting for me is that I do a lot of daily normal usual business now with the glasses, with the headset. And the great thing is when you get more used to it, you get really used to just switching between VR and 2D content, and it gets very used, or you get very used to you, and you don't use your smartphone, for example, anymore. I have my smartphone screen inside of the headset, so if I get a call or anything, I can directly accept it or write messages with the keyboard in the headset. So I don't need to use my phone anymore, and some of the behaviors are changing. And what I learned is I got also used more to kind of the benefits, because now I can sit outside and working clearly with a laptop in the sunlight. It wasn't so often possible. But also I'm able to move my screens to the ceiling, for example, when I want to get my position on the sunbed to be a bit more relaxed during my work. So it starts for me to get more, or I start feeling more and more to get used to VR and mixed realities. And actually, I forgot a bit about the first moment when I start working with those devices, and the first time I had those headsets on. And I'm sure you're all familiar with this moment. I mean, the first moment when you put on your VR headset and you just go, wow. And by the way, this is a picture not from a stock page, but actually from the King of the Netherlands, Willem-Alexander, and we managed to capture his first moment when he put a VR headset on the first time. And yeah, you see him at our capture stage. They tried it on, and he was totally blown away watching a volumetric basketball session where a professional basketball player is showing you some tricks in VR, and you can walk around him, and you are basically on a different location, a different set. And nowadays, with social VR and interactivity, the great thing is that those contents now can be basically seen not just in one screen or one device, so you can share the experience with multiple people. And this is a really huge benefit of those technology. And if you look back a bit into the past, I mean, the first devices which were possible to watch movies were very similar actually to our headsets. If you look at those devices, this were the kinetoscopes actually, like big boxes where you have to look through to watch just short sequences. And like today devices, I mean, those devices were not social. I mean, you couldn't really afford it for home usage, and the content was extremely limited. So this was actually the beginning of cinema. And it took quite a while to transform those boxes into the and also the content into the cinematic experience we got used to. And I mean, the goal of cinema was always to capture somehow a part of reality, to tell beautiful, crafted stories, and making stories available to a wider audience. This was only possible then to technology. So when technology evolved, and this took us to actually the 2D screen, which we all get very used to. So when people were able to gather at home at lower cost to choose their own content, I would say it's kind of the first evolution of home entertainment that happened. And the revenue of TV, of course, increased drastically. And then in the next phase, those wall-mounted displays actually became more portable and powerful enough to render interactive content in real time. And with the rise of the smart and portable capture devices, the possibilities also for content creation became widely available. And those technology combined put all the required tools in the hand to the masses to receive and produce own content. And I would say this was basically the birth or the requirements on technology side to bring people to really create their own interactive content and start to do all the digital social interactions. I mean, everything before was just text messages, but then you could just quickly share videos, photos, everything, and communicate via live chat with everyone. And of course, this led to a big rise in the market. So the games market outperformed television and movie market quite quickly. And yeah, I mean, when you look at those historical numbers, bringing those new technology to the masses also creates new ways of communication, but it also takes a bit of time. I mean, in the early days of VR, everyone was very optimistic about how fast we will achieve the market. But without, I would say, affordable and good working devices, we are not able to bring technology to them. And I mean, social VR is basically relying heavily on good working devices for the market. So I think this is one of the fundamentals which needs to be solved first. And even when the first televisions came to the market in the 30s, it took about 20 years to reach 9% of the households. So just to imagine, I mean, from later on, then from the 50s, till from the 50s really start up, and then it took 15 years actually to reach 90% of all the households. So then it really took off in a very short amount of time. Currently said it's, I mean, regarding some research, they estimate that's about 8% currently of households in the US at least who own a VR headsets. And which would mean, I mean, we're talking currently about the same situation like the device availability for TV in the 50s. And this is something we have to be aware of, that we are still in the very early beginning, but we see those numbers rising. And what we also encounter is that our numbers are increasing way faster than those in the early days, providing more and sooner access to a wider audience to receive social VR content. And social VR actually is also not, I would say, something completely new. I mean, it's basically the possibility to enjoy the 3D content now with a VR headset, but the platforms like Second Life and other ones, I mean, they have been created quite a while already ago. I mean, and they provided 3D worlds with user-generated content and filled with a lot of people's. But the problem, I think, at this time was that they were more targeted for, I think, a gaming audience, because you need a keyboard and mouse to walk around and everything, and it wasn't so intuitive. And also, the big problem was that you're not really feeling like inside of those worlds. And now, since we have the technology of virtual reality, you really can be part of the world and you really feel the presence with the people around you. And this is not possible with a 2D screen in front of you, because then you always just look at it. And especially with the Oculus Quest device, I would say they came very easy to get access to this content, and social VR platforms also provided a lot of flexibility. And I mean, see you all here today in the audience. I think this already proves that this has a big chance to become a major market. And even due to the current situation, a lot of people get now pushed into the direction of, I would say, presenting content in virtual reality. There's another quick overview. I mean, like in research, because of social interaction, what people believed in, how they will use the headsets. So social interaction was ranked as place 7. I would say for my personal usage, I don't think, or I'm especially missing there's a normal work stuff you can do in these headsets. But I think also that social interaction will get a higher priority as more people will get used to it, because those, I think, numbers are based on people were asked when they bought a headset what they want to use it for. But since social platforms are now evolving very rapidly, I think this will be a big topic in the future. And yeah, this actually led to a quite of increase, of course, of the platforms. It's just a quite big overview. I mean, the Institute of Immersive Learning, if you Google them, they did a great map of the current ecosystem, providing all the learning platforms and ecosystems for social VR. And there are currently more than 50 different social VR platforms I have counted, at least, who are just focusing on bringing people together with all kind of different directions. And there are, as you can see, there are already a lot of companies looking into solving those new challenges for creating social VR platforms. And since this technology is in a kind of early stage, a lot of things still changing very rapidly, and developers have to find a lot of solutions. And yeah, this brings us, I would say, also to brief outlook about the challenges of current productions, because with the new devices, we get more possibilities to receive content more easily. But when social VR actually was starting, no one really thought about mixed reality, because in the beginning, mixed reality was more based for, I would say, industry workers. But since this year, actually, the first mixed reality devices for normal customers coming to the markets, I think this will become a very big topic in the near future. And nowadays, actually, people and also clients from our end, they're looking more into combining all those common technologies to provide a wider range of customers, and also learns which platform fits which needs best. You can imagine having a virtual reality headset has some kind of limitation, but also a lot of possibilities. The same happens with mixed reality devices, which are quite useful in some cases and not so well in others. So let me just quickly define what social VR actually means, or what it's about. So, I mean, first of all, I mean, it's not social media. I mean, I've read a few articles where people confused by it, because they thought, yeah, it's social, and now we put social media and put it into virtual reality, and so we have the same thing. But it's, I would say, kind of different thing. But because even if the revenue streams of selling and selling the user data and providing user-based advertisement are a bit similar, I think social VR provides different ways of monetization. I mean, just imagine all the assets you can buy for avatars or persons, and digital stores where you can really go shopping. Those are things you can't really bring over to typical, I would say, yeah, YouTube channels or anything else. It's not comparable in this way. And yeah, on social VR, basically you're getting together in a virtual world, and mainly using a virtual reality system and a social VR app. And I would suggest, or I think in the near future, we will have more integration also of augmented reality and mixed reality into those worlds, that they are shareable across multiple devices. So social VR will enable us just not to participate in VR, but also to enjoy content in augmented or mixed reality devices. And I think this will lead us to more challenges when it comes also to content creation. So this is just a picture on the airport, which we did in the beginning of the year in January. Here we created a mixed reality social experience where several people can have the same experience in mixed reality. And you can already imagine we have different devices like the HoloLens 2 there, Unreal devices, Magic Leap, and the audience could choose different devices and they would have the same experience and they all shared the same space. And it's quite challenging if you want to get tracking and spatial anchoring and everything done through multiple devices. But even if you are able to create those anchors, you need to actually create the content for it, and this is quite challenging a lot of the times. And since we are a bit focused more on creating humans in those spaces, I would like to get just a brief glimpse about the challenges we have encountered. So when you look at those glasses, I don't know how laggy it will be now with the video transmission of the PowerPoint. I hope it will be a bit receivable. But this was actually what the people then through the glasses saw on the through the glasses. So the person in front actually is the volumetrically captured person, which then acts in the real environment integrated into mixed reality. But you can also use those persons then inside of social VR environments. And the problem currently with creating the content is if you compare it to traditional art like drawing, which became later kind of a photo in terms of technology and later moving images like film, the same happened with 3D environments. So right now we're at a stage to be able to create avatars in real time, make them flexible, but those require usually quite an amount of work, manual work. And then we now go to scanning those persons and try to animate scanned persons, which is kind of the second step. I don't know if you in the audience who have played Asgard's Wrath. It's a quite nice game actually for VR. Quite good graphics, and this is actually the current best outcome you can get with those scanned avatars people. But the process of creating those actors is very time consuming and expensive, like creating rigs, and then you have motion capture suits, and even the pipeline if you try to build those persons is kind of a mess because you have so many steps which are all related to each other. So if you want to do any changes, it's very time consuming and expensive. Of course, nowadays there are more and more tools out there, and I think in the later talks we will get more knowledge about what kind of possibilities we have in terms of creating like human-like characters with different kinds of standardized tools to make it more simple and easier. But this is, I would say, the way how you would do it if you want to create a person which looks very, very similar to a real actor or to a real person. And since this technology is so expensive, we encountered now the new way of creating those persons is actually with volumetric capture, and we have therefore created the stage in Babelsberg. And just to give you a quick example of how this looks, this is me captured in volumetrically. So as you can see, it's a 3D model, and you can basically walk around it. And the big benefit is that it still looks like the 100% real person because you capture all the details and all the wrinkles. And you can imagine having something like this with the rock band. If you do a light performance in social VR, for example, you can capture them once. So right now you see the 3D characters, and then you can integrate them into live events or put them even into social VR experience to do the performance. And just one more quick example. The good thing is you can also then kind of duplicate or play around with any kind of spatial with them. I mean, you can shrink and do anything what you can do with persons in 3D. But the benefit is that they keep the authenticity, and this is quite important also for journalism and those directions. But I would say for social VR, this is a good approach actually if you have a really like a big star also, because the limitation of this is that you can't really do it in real time. And therefore, I mean, we are all here in this room and we look at our persons and our avatars. I mean, they look quite cool, but they're really, I would say, stylized. And this relates because we need to make it performance-wise able to play on all the devices and make it real time. So it would be able to do, I would say, one or few of those persons scanned in this way and do a live performance, and all the people can watch it. But the people who watch it couldn't be scanned like this way and be rendered performant in this environment. So this technology, as I mentioned, it has limitation, but as technology more and more evolves, I think it will be wider available. And I think in the future, we will be able to have really looking close to ourselves, avatars, which we can use in those environments and interact with all the people. And what I really like to see that now more and more platforms are merging more and more devices together to provide those technologies. And I would say this is kind of quite a quick overview, and I'm quite eager to see all the presentations afterwards, what people will show us, how they can create characters more easily. I think from time-wise, I have a few minutes left. So if there are any questions in the audience, please feel free to ask.
Yes, I don't know if I can talk now.
I can hear. What is your question?
Yes, the question is, I was going to ask about mobile devices. I was using the virtual world sensor for a while, and before Linden Lab has sold it now, and the big argument has always been, well, why did nobody go to sensor? Sensor has been in beta for 3 years, has great avatars, avatar customization. You can do events there, everything. But the big problem is, like you mentioned, is it does not work on mobile devices. So could that be the reason that it has that nobody comes?
Just to answer this question, I mean, mobile devices, as far as I know, are quite heavily involved already and do captures. Like, I mean, there are platforms like Wave, for example, where they have musicians playing every few days, doing live performances on stages. And they use, for example, for just the facial capture, they use a mobile device, I think an iPhone, to do the capture of the face. And then they use it, I think, in combination with the Kinect system to do the body movement and body tracking. Of course, those technologies, they all evolve on different areas. And as far as I know, everyone tries basically to combine those sensors and everything what is available currently.
Okay, thanks.
So it's already, I think, in usage to use mobile devices for it. Of course, it's always a bit of a trade-off if you use smaller devices which don't have so much performance.
I wasn't mentioning, I wasn't thinking mobile devices for actually broadcasting. I was more thinking about already if people could come and join events and watch them on the mobile device, that would already be quite sufficient and give more people, reach a broader audience, you know, because like you said, not everybody has a PC and a keyboard.
I mean, just to give you a brief outlook on it, the Unreal devices, which is a mixed reality device, it's basically very bright. You can even run virtual reality on it, and it's just connected to your phone. And I think this is one of the platforms which will have a lot of potential, because I've heard that about now 10 different companies creating similar devices which you just connect to your phone, and you can directly watch mixed reality and virtual reality content on them. And the Unreal is now one of the first devices coming out this year, and I think they will be sold in the next months in Germany. And this will change a lot of perception, because you just use your phone and you can experience virtual reality and mixed reality. But it needs to be done. It's not
Could you put it in the chat? Could you put it in the chat? The name of the application that you just mentioned.
Yeah, sure. I put it in the public chat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah, perfect. So far, if there aren't any questions, I would give forward the stage or leave the stage for the next speaker. And thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. So, Akihiko SHIRAI, could you please come on stage? And we'll begin slowly the presentation. Please give us just like 1 quick minute. We need just to load the presentation, and then we'll be shortly with all of you. Thank you.
Hi. Hello, bonjour. Can you hear me? Can you raise up your hand if you can hear me? Okay. That's interactive, that's real time, that's live entertainment we can start. So this is not a recording live. So I am here in Laval, and probably, yes, the slide is loading. So thank you, Mira. She is my collaborator working in Europe, but we have not seen, we have not directly met in real world. So let's start my talk about First of all, it's an honor to be here in Laval World. The first time the massive international conference in virtual reality for virtual reality. So my talk is Avatar Awake New Human Being, short report from VTuber industry. Next please. So my name is Akihiko SHIRAI, a long-time work for R&D, mainly entertainment, virtual reality, since 1995. So in my history, so please skip the abstract. And this talk will contain my talk about in SIGGRAPH 2019 and the article in IEEE VR 2020. And some latest topic after and before COVID. So next, please. So my first part is talking about LUYT for 4.0 by GREE VR Studio Lab. This is my lab. And before I start working in my team, I was a long time contributed to Laval Virtual since 2004. So I was moved to Laval and with my family, and I have really developed Laval Virtual since 2006. So I have organized a revolution demonstration session since 2008. And here is a various topic, various themes, and the latest demonstration entire world. So the last edition in 2019 was VR 5.0. I was organized and also focusing or forecasting the next generation of virtual reality. So next please. So my current work is in virtual reality, but entertainment, but mainly focusing to VTuber industry since 2018. So my latest one, here is my past work in last year. Played SIGGRAPH Asia 2018 in real time live. So it means this is me in virtual. No, this is the physical. And I played as a player, and I played as a girl players on the stage. Here is 3,000 people in real in Tokyo stage, and we have played live entertainment. Okay, go next. So, so we are working.
Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, next please. Yes, the wait for a while. No problem. It's just pictures. So, VR Studio is working for R&D and in virtual YouTuber industry. So testing new motion captures, developing new roles, and also virtual gifting, new services, voice changes, various fields are existing. So it motivates new technologies, and also here is the various topics to work on there. So this is a list of my past work in 12 months in 2019, and going to the I guess you stay in the history. Yes, in
okay,
the history, this is this is drawn by Système, the pioneer of virtual reality history. He is talking about the cycle of the virtual reality craze, and also stereoscopic, and also presence, and tele-existence. So the cycle is coming like dawn of first VR wave, second VR wave. However, he is not to see the after 2020, so it's coming. So here is a cycle. We say this is reincarnation of virtual reality. We die sometime in past decades. Okay, go next. So this is the incarnation between VR 3.0 and VR 4.0. This is my definition. So in the first era, VR 1.0 by Sword of Damocles, by Sutherland. In the second wave was graphic workstation, OpenGL, DirectX, and only in my lab, only lab. So this is not a consumer devices. So they said there are no killer contents in virtual reality, but this is incorrect. So their third definition is the personality creators like Oculus and game engines like Unity, Unreal engines. So they can bring the new players like game players, game developers, and it build a new market in a consumer market. So, but the building reason why we need VR, this is still existing. So VR 4.0, I have estimated, so to see someone else. So to see someone else, that means social network, commerce, AI chains will come, but to see someone else. This is the reason why we need VR. This is VR 4.0. So after COVID, this is still same. So going back to the virtual YouTuber market, here is the coming workshop. We have VR Studio Lab have developed various contents like social multiplayer games, fishing games, casual action games, and character communication VR has created. So that's a link, that's a key of the next thing. So human is next page. Human is it's a really change in computer graphics and real-time graphics and also virtual reality. So virtual YouTuber contains, this is a virtual idol, but it contains face capture, brand shape, real-time rendering, hair, accessory simulations, voice record, lip sync, and cross simulation, motion capture, finger captures, and networking, broadcasting, gifting, mobile with sustainable ecosystems. So we have arrived, next please, we have arrived to the actual industry with the VTubers. So we are entertainment finally arrived to the social, human-centered business. So okay, going to the next. So we are also making research like effectiveness of facial animated avatars and transformed voice and e-learning programming codes. Mira, going to the skip 2 slides, forwarding. Go for it, go for it. Okay, I go speed up. Yes, go. Sorry. Yes, this is one example. The application of the virtual YouTuber or avatar business into the e-learning. So I will tell you later. I will give the link later. But students need avatar teachers because students cannot choose the teachers. Teachers prefer the physical face-to-face communications, but genders and looks and the distance is also controllable with avatars. Okay, go next, please. Here is also haptic entertainment we are developing. Go next, please. Okay, haptic entertainment. But I will skip for this time. Go next 5 slide, please. Yes, here is various testing algorithms, hardware we have developed, and also here is the service reality. Here is avatar broadcasting service. So now it's have extraordinarily including users after COVID. So this is a personal broadcasting system and also personal voice changer services are free. Skip 5 slides. And also here is the various background for the facial expressions, facial recognitions, and also new expressions using emoji, manga or style expressions. So this technology also needs deep-learning technologies with motion captures like iPhone X, iPhone X True Depth camera can recognize our emotions. Okay, go next, please. Okay, skip. So I'm going to the next topic. See, this is the latest topic just before COVID. Okay, thanks, Samira. We go forward. I'm watching. Yes, facial expressions. Yes, I played like that, and iPhone X can detect my magnetic exaggerated face automatically. Please go forward. Yes, this is using the broadcasting program and also go next please. Yes, a French company is also having the solutions and also applied to this. Go, not back. Please go forward. Time is short. Yes, this is the result. Go. Latest topic. Yes, let's go. Okay, last 5 slides.
Tu n'as pas ton iPhone dans l'avatar?
So in SOUBRA for Asia real-time live, I have played in Australia. It has 700 kilometers in distance. So you can watch my video here. Go. Collaboration. And I also have a workshop in elementary school. And elementary school student can make a new alternative reality game in school. So just before COVID, so they played avatars and they made escaping game, pedagogical escaping game by themselves with scenario, with the subject of the study. So that's a good example. So skip and go next, please. Next, please. Yes, you can download the PDF by QR code and then go next. Yes, this is the latest one. So do you know the Space Channel 5? Space Channel 5 is a legendary dancing game in 1998, and this is released as a Space Channel 5 VR in as the latest edition. And click here, please. So here is my dance with a promotion by VTuber. So the VR game is also synchronized with this context. So dancing game is going to the VR experience, and VTuber can promote this, and also I can join to the world as a player, and also actors. So Mira is working for the context of the comparison of Western Eastern culture, and here is a very interesting research we have collaborated. Mira, can you speak about this? In later, okay, let's go next slide. So we have also organized student competition in VR. So this is VTech Challenge 2019. The winners are coming to the stage and they can present by their avatars about the technological or scientific research, and also the reviewers are also coming by avatars. So this program has broadcasted in BRT. So, and the latest topic, so in this weekend, here is a virtual market edition 4. Here is a big event in VR chat. So here is a organization who is working to organize a virtual creators market in VR chat, and it have 400,000 people in a week in the last edition. So please join to the virtual market in this weekend. So as the final presentation slide, as a discussion, as a conclusion, so avatar are like a new human beings. That's true. That's really true before COVID and after COVID. So this is not limited in Japan, and also not limited to Japan, and also promotion for the digital content and educations and communication in Korea, and in not seeing people, and also matching for work or not. So making a new barrier from their individual home and new human beings coming. Thanks for listening. Please communicate on Twitter and visit my website. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody in the audience for being with us. We'll be shortly starting the Q&A. We have time for about, I would say, 2 or 3 short questions. Could you please raise your hand? In order to do that, could you please click on the raise hand button, which is in the bottom middle side of the screen. In Virbella, raise your hand. I will call your name and then ask a question. Thank you. Don't be shy.
Someone in the middle. Mira, can you speak something during the moment?
Yeah. Manila?
Yes.
Yes. Did you have a question?
I do.
Yes, please.
My question is like, are these avatars only anime based, or can you make them also realistic? And what technology would you be applying to let people create it when they are in VR?
Okay, short answer, and Mira can ask to tell the details. So mainly in Japan, we focusing to the anime style avatars, and also we have VRM standard format. So avatar industry is coming, but not like realistic avatars. So Mira will have great answers, please.
So we've noticed while our research that the majority of, I would say, Asian countries, especially Japan, prefer to use animated characters that have really the high or cute characteristics. It is also a trend that we see happening in the West, especially with those people who are interested in Japanese culture. However, it is possible to have more realistic avatars, but it would appear that in the case of VTubers, it is more cute and I would say more animated-like characteristics that are preferred for their cute visuals.
Is okay?
Have we answered your question, or would you like us to develop it further?
Yeah, like for the second part of the question, like what technology are you using to let people create their animated avatars?
So yes, as I said, VRM is a common file format. Japanese company has joined to there. So please ask VRM on Google. And here is a very useful software tools like VLUYT. You can make a very beautiful, impressive avatars in 5 minutes. Okay.
And the application is free.
Yes, tools. In the case of reality, so we are investing to make a very impressive avatar systems, and also avatar assets like costumes, like accessories, T-shirts is making a new business. So actually, GREE is working for such as avatar-based SNS since 16 years ago. So this is a pioneer of the such business.
Right, I see another question in the audience. Nem, would you please ask your question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned the case of elementary school, and what actually is the difference between the VTuber character and the messy robot AI that kind of avatars? What actually is that difference occurs in the communication?
So that's a good question. So we don't prefer to mix avatars, VTubers, and AI-driven characters and virtual beings. But one thing we can say is someone want to become a different personality. That's true. And for the children, young age, like elementary school, they haven't recognized their identity yet. So that means they have some wish, like I want to be a soccer player, I want to be a musician, I want to be an idol, but someone else who don't have such a correct wish, or someone who have some wish but not give the name of the new role, new functionality, new heroes in his life, because this is too much early. And also here is the people who want or who have already tried but not succeed in this wish. So they need to be covered with a masquerade, like a mask or avatars as a virtual, but he want to challenge into the world, which is their wish. This is not only into the real world, but also we are finding the new worlds like animatic world or something Marvel world or something SF world or imaging world. So there are worlds. So we say interverse presence. So that's our avatars. So as your questions, we can include AI-driven characters, but this is too much early, we are thinking. So as I doing like that, the voice has a really identity of the persona. So that's a great difference with Hatsune Miku in this days recently. That's a question and answers.
Yeah, definitely. Get it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Do you think it's not a Japan-specific phenomenon? I think
No.
Japanese children are very good at, no?
So that's fortunately we have various contents like the anime, game, and the manga. Then here is a diversity in this content and imagination world, and also scientific fictions also close to the advance of the technology. So the environment is very facilitate to the such as conditions, but our research and also physical market data can tell us this is not only the regional thing. Japan, America, China, no, not the regional thing. So people or personnel who prefer the imaging world, they are working in the world. So we say interverse. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Interesting. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Unfortunately, we're already running a little bit behind time. We're already 7 minutes late. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to ask them in the public chat, or you can email us in private message in Verbella. And thank you for listening, and thank you, Akihiko SHIRAI, for your wonderful presentation. Let's move on to the next one.
Thank
you.
See you.
And
Over.
just one thing, please keep the mic turned off in the presentation and avoid talking with each other. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. Do you hear me well? Hands up if you hear me well. All right. Cool. I see 1, 2, 3. Oh, amazing. Cool. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good night. Good day. Whatever it is for you. My name is Arthur. I'm founder and CEO of Somnium Space. And another exercise for you. Hands up if you see my presentation. All right, let's see. Awesome, perfect. So we're ready to go. And since we're exercising well here, the last one, put your hands up, whoever knows what Somnium Space is. Let me see, what is 1? It's good. 2, amazing. 2 people, that's great. So hello to you as well. So as I said, I'm a founder and CEO of Somnium Space, and we are a virtual reality world which is built on blockchain. Now, why blockchain and what the heck are we doing? Let me try to explain you. Somnium Space is the VR first world, meaning that majority of experiences are built for native VR experience, and basically it's a persistent virtual reality world where people can do almost anything they like and they can create almost anything they like. And it's a free world. You can go there even today and you can roam the whole beautiful world by yourself or with your friends or meet other people who are there. But most importantly is that people are actually buying land in that world and creating experiences inside that land. What does it mean and why do they do it? One thing is we have created some amazing tools for creation, so people can start building with Visual Builder. So if you ever played Sims, you'll be able to start building your house or conference center like we are here, for example. You can build it on your land parcel and start, doing some experiences. You can live stream there. You can create, use audio. It's a spatial audio and stuff like this. But why it's even more important and more interesting is that the whole experience and everything you own in this virtual world in Somnium Space is on the blockchain. And that is an important part, an integral part of the whole of Somnium. Just to explain you the difference between having an item on blockchain and not having an item on blockchain. So if you compare it to any other game out there in the world, anything you imagine, starting from Fortnite, Counter-Strike, Second Life, whatever you play, whatever you own in that game, you actually don't own. That means that you have an ability to operate an item which, the record of this item is lying on the server of some company. So if you buy a skin in Fortnite or if you pay some gold coins in some mobile game, you basically pay those money and you will never see those money back. That is not your property. You have no ability to freely trade that item or transfer it to your friend or sell that item to someone else on a free market. You don't own that item. This item is owned by the company and you are just given the ability to operate that. In case of
We are having a slight technical issue. Arthur, nobody can hear you right now.
Hello, hi.
You're back, Archer. Good, thank you.
Okay, cool. I just lost my internet connection. Sorry. So again, where I stopped is that whatever you own is yours, and it's not only yours because we say so. It's yours because you are having the
We've lost you again, all of us. Arthur, we can't hear you, unfortunately.
Hello. So my internet connection got lost, or maybe, but I'm back. Sorry for this. Do you hear me now?
Yes, I think.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Cool. So I stopped at the point where we said, right, everything you own in Somnium is on blockchain, so it's basically owned by you. You don't need to trust us on that. It's in your wallet, which is a decentralized wallet like MetaMask, and you control that wallet. It has nothing to do with Somnium Space, and you can transfer things from that and on into that wallet at any moment of time. Now, this brings a complete new dynamic into what, how the economy inside virtual world works, right? So you can create things, and now suddenly you can freely trade those things and monetize those things, be it an avatar. You create a great avatar, like in VRChat, we have Unity SDK. You upload that avatar, and then suddenly people start saying, wow, you have a nice avatar, can I have one? And you say, right, of course, you can put those avatars on blockchain tokens. You decide how many avatars will go. So if it's 5, or if it's a limited edition 1 or 10, it's up to you. You decide the price, you sell that avatar to the person, and then that token represents one-of-a-kind avatar, which goes to that person can use it. And all information, of course, which you need to run this avatar, it's stored on that blockchain token. Now, if you look at the slide behind me, we have created a set of tools which people can use to start building inside the world. Of course, they can use Unity SDK, but not everyone wants to install Unity. And for that, we have created a visual builder. As I said before, if you played Sims, you'll be very familiar with that. You can just go there and start, placing walls and doesn't see the presentation. Let me refresh it. That works. Yeah, I can see it. It should be possible.
For those who do not see the presentation, please look at the middle screen on top right corner. You have a refresh button. Please click on it, and really you should be able to see the same thing as we're seeing right now.
Okay, awesome.
Please.
So as I said, we have created a builder where people can buy land, which is represented by a blockchain token. So you go to the decentralized market. And beautiful part of it, of course.
Okay, I'm so sorry to cut you right now. Apparently it doesn't work. I'm also stuck on the Somnium Space first.
Tu es à côté de là où on était.
My youth, and I loved what they did. But that's exactly the good example of centralized economy versus the centralized economy like we're building. Centralized means everything was and is run in Second Life, controlled by Linden Lab. Either it's an exchange rate of Linden dollars against the dollars, or it's something you own there. It's on their servers. They allow or disallow you to trade or transfer those things. Until recently, you were not even able to change your nickname properly. Now you can. So this is something where they control. In our case, this is. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah.
Slide?
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool.
Let's check with the audience. Can everybody see slides? If you can't, please press again the refresh button. We should be rolling.
Okay, let's continue rolling. Awesome. Cool. So you see that there's several important parts of Somnium Space VR experience, which we believe that's an integral part of why our world and economy will be working. First of all, it's a blockchain ecosystem. As I explained to you, people should really own things they create, and people should really own things they pay for. That's what we believe in Somnium. That's what we stand for in Somnium. That's what is already working in Somnium economy today. People are buying and selling virtual lands as they wish without asking us on decentralized markets. People trade items with each other and much, much more. Another thing is it should be easy for people to create, right? You want to do something, you don't need to be a tech nerd, cool programmer to be able to create your own virtual reality environment or virtual reality, house, whatever you want. It has to be easy. That's why we created a visual builder, which also, starting from this week, will integrate also visual scripting. Basically, you record things to move based on some assumptions you create, and within 15 minutes, you can have a beautiful waterfall or rain falling, or you can even create a game out of this visual scripting without even touching a code once. And of course, for us, this is I see your questions. I'll answer them right after my presentation. So another thing is we are VR world first. Now, why VR and why we think it's important? Because even though 2D is nice and kind of cute, the real immersion and the real beauty, let's say, of the experience lies in virtual reality. When you create your house, let's say a house, in the builder we have created, with one click of a button, go from building it on your 2D screen, actually walking inside that house in VR, another click of a button, you can upload it to the world where everybody else can see real time, persistently, without mirror servers, without dividing people into subservers. They can just walk into your house or go close to your house, look at it, and enjoy your experience which you have built, whatever that is. If it's club, which already works in Somnium, and I'll show you some examples later, you can do whatever you want. So this is something where we truly believe that virtual reality is a next step in communication. Because of our immersiveness. And again, when you see your creation in full scale in VR, you are attached to this much more than you would for 3D. That's what we believe in, and that's what we are, pushing forward. We work very hard on our immersion level. So whenever you enter the world, there is, procedurally generated weather. There is real time environment. You can see clouds, they're shaped all the time. They're never the same. They are reflected from the water in real time. You can see other people in real time. What can happen to you in Somnium, and which happens often, you be climbing a 3-kilometer mountain, and then standing there, and in 2 kilometers away, you can see someone walking on the road like a dot, or a small few sub-pixels, but that's a person, and that that person is moving in real time. That's what you see. Everything you see in the world is actually real there. We don't use any pictures instead of sky. Or if you see a mountain 5 kilometers away, that's a real mountain you can go and climb. It will take you some time, 40 minutes or so to get there, or 30 minutes, but you can go there and climb, and you can meet some people there. Now, of course, we are targeting the also not only PC VR headsets, which were already available on every out there, but we are targeting mobile headsets like Oculus Quest and Oculus Go. We're already compatible with Quest plus link cable. Months will be natively available on Quest, and also we hope to run it mostly on the Go. And we're also working on the mobile building. So, building tools to be accessible for everyone. We are able, and we were able to run our visual builder in the Android phone. So that's working, and that was what we kind of experimented a little bit, and it worked for us. So can we go to the next slide, please? Next slide. You. Yeah, beautiful. So,
okay.
The next slide is, it's all about socializing and creating, and it's exactly what we believe in. First of all, when people start creating and when people start becoming neighbors and when people start meeting in the world, it creates an amazing dynamic between, you know, kind of like a real world, a real country, and real people communication things happening, right? So, for example, we go every day. We meet with our community, and our community meet in the city center or in the world center, and then they, you know, we go and explore new creations loaded throughout the day, and we are amazed every single day. Starting with the crypto art galleries to disco clubs to amazing underground pools with some great pictures and videos, and you know, you name it. Everything you can imagine is there, and it's growing, and it's most of the time it's beautiful. Sometimes people just try to build 4 walls and one neon sign, but hey, why not? They paid for that parcel, and this is something where, you know, where we see that the more people understand the value of being a total owner of and a complete owner of what they create, more they start to build and the more confidence they have. Because even if we ban you for you to not comply with the rules or upload some abusive content again and again after warnings, even if we ban your account, you can still take your tokens of the land, of avatars, of everything you earned and own in the world, go to the decentralized market and sell it for the market price. You will not lose your value. You can still go and do it. You can even transfer those tokens to another account and create a new one, you know. We'll eventually maybe find you, but you know, the tokens are yours and nobody can take it from you. No central authority can basically take it from you. 1 second, let me check the slide. Can we go to the next slide, please? Here are some real examples. I'm not sure how well you see it. It's pretty cool. So here are several examples. On the left bottom corner, you can see a disco club, and you know, you are this disco club was created, and when you enter the disco club, you can dance and listen to the live DJ sets. And the example of how people can monetize their experiences is the DJ from San Francisco built the club. He was basically running a 2-hour live set and went there to dance. And you can go to our Twitter @SomniumSpace and see videos of it if you scroll down. And that DJ, because he created a special edition tickets for on blockchain, so he created a beautiful ticket on the blockchain, sold for that performance. He actually earned for that night $1,000 worth of, you know, of dollars, real money, by performing this in virtual reality inside SomniumSpace. That is a real example of how economy works and how people are rewarding other people because they had fun. You know, I was dancing there in that club for 2 hours in VR, and it was amazing, you know, kind of a darker club with neons and stuff. And when I went out world, not in the real world, in Somnium from that club, and I saw the sun in my headset, I was like, wow, okay, I really felt like after I was going to the disco. Now on the top, on the bottom right corner, you see another person's creation, which he expressed his kind of idea, which he always had. This is a kind of tilted house, how we call it, and that tilted house is amazing because when you go in VR, all the inner all the feelings inside you kind of are telling you that the house is tilted and you kind of expect to fall, and you're standing in the VR headset, but you don't. So it's a very interesting experience. again, that house became very popular and people are coming to that house, and that person became a popular builder. So he is an architect kind of of style, and someone is buying land, for example, and saying, look, I have this land, I want to make gallery, can you help me? And he's basically earning money by building for other people as well. So that's happening. And that's that's beautiful. On the left top corner we have a map, and this map is real-time price map and a heat map of where people are buying and selling parcels. You can find it on our website. It's an interesting thing to see how the neighborhoods are becoming more expensive, less expensive, and why, and understand the dynamic of people creation. And of course, on the right top corner, we have visual scripting, again, which allows you to create almost unlimited functionality by just using your imagination and visual tools without ever touching any line of code, which should be able and which should have open a lot of possibilities for many people to be able to create. Could we go to the next slide, please? All right, so I see some people are asking questions. I'll come to that right away, but here are some partial answer to this. Economy and users. So we are, for the past several weeks, we have been a #1 by volume, #1 traded company by NFTs, non-fungible tokens on the blockchain in the world. And the users are amazing, I must say. You as someone who has written, and it's absolutely true, whenever there are tools for people to create, they will. For example, on the right side, you can see a heat map, which was created by one of our users based on user data and how they go into the world. They measured basically where are people on Somnium map coming mostly and what are they visiting. That gives you a perspective of which parcels are being visited the most, which experiences are the most interesting, what people value the most, and things like this. So examples like that are popping up every day. We're just sitting there and looking how people becoming creative and how they gather and create new experiences and new ideas. And we even had recently a country or a new upcoming country, let's call it like this, Liberland. I don't know if you heard about that ever. But Liberland opened an official embassy inside Somnium Space. So they bought a land parcel, they opened an embassy, and you can visit and learn about Liberland, and you can eventually will be able to claim citizenship of the Liberland inside Somnium Space in that embassy by having a blockchain token, which again, all the information will be stored on that token, and nobody can take it from you. Go to the next slide, please. All right, so meet us. We do support non-VR mode, so something which you're experiencing right now, like third-person view, 2D view, non-VR mode. You can come into Somnium if you don't have VR headset, no problem. Of course, we always recommend to go in VR. Completely different experience, and it's a very immersive one. And if you do want to come and socialize and see what our community is building and just roam the streets of endless creativity, you can do this. We have daily meetups with community at 11 o'clock p.m. CET day. We have Explorers Club where people meet every Thursday morning CET or Pacific evening night, and they explore the world. They make pictures. They exchange those pictures. We have an amazing community on Discord where you can ask any question, you can any critique, and you can just talk to people, and they will be super friendly and help you. And of course, we have a lot of information, or the main social media platform we use for kind of communicating the news is Twitter. So if you find us on @SomniumSpace on Twitter, you'll find all the interesting information about us, all the latest information. Like, for example, one of our users just ran 40 minutes running, jogging, exercise inside SomniumSpace, and the video is there, and it's already having, I mean, after one day, 9,000 views, and it's epic, and I love it, how creative he is. And actually, after seeing this video, many people in our Discord said, oh, I want to be in that jogging club. So we are now actually creating VR jogging club, and we'll be running in every week or several times per week. So, you know, come and unleash your creativity. We'll be happy to have you. And with this, I would be happy to answer any of your questions. And I think I can start directly from the chat. And I can try to read some of those.
That's the little issue we're having right now. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. We're just running really late because we have a live presentation at 5:15 and we're already generally like 15 minutes late on the whole talks. Maybe just like really short question answer, like
short question.
I'm so sorry.
Community management and content stuff. Of course, there are some terms and conditions, no abuse content. We have community managers. We do review some content. We're a super friendly community. We try to restrict as less things as possible for people to be creative. But again, if you want to ask me questions, I'll be happy to answer those. Either ping me directly here in the chat within the next 5 minutes, or just come to Discord. I'm there almost all the time, and just ping me there. It's discord.gg/somniumspace. So I'm there, ping us, and we'll be very happy to answer any question. Thank you very much.
Thank you for a great presentation. Sorry again to
no worries. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, so can the next speakers please come up and start their presentation?
Hello. Can you hear me well? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to put the slide on the screen. Yeah, here we go. Is everybody on the stage yet? Oh, great. So, hello, I'm Bertier LUYT. I'm French. I'm a father, a maker, a burner, an entrepreneur, an investor, and a goalkeeper. And I'm very happy to present this panel today. We are going to talk about social VR. Thanks to COVID-19, we are doing this in a virtual environment. I'm happy there are so many friends in the room. I see friends from South Africa, from Colorado. What a time to live. VR is not new, as the previous speaker was mentioning. After all, Laval Virtual is 22 years old. Social is not new, neither. Humans are social. Second Life is about 20 years old. Social networks have been around for 15 years. ICQ was there already in 1998. I'm sure some of you remember that. In 2014, just after Burning Man, Omar and I were invited at Google to create applications for Tango, and Facebook acquired Oculus the very same year. Today, our kids are playing Animal Crossing and online gaming such as Fortnite, PUBG, and other battle royale games bring together millions of players online every day. Snapchat said in its earnings calls this week that it grew its daily active users by 11 million this quarter and by 20% year over year. During the first quarter, 60 Snapchat shows reached over 10 million viewers, and more than 20 million people watched a Snap original that debuted in March. Communication with friends also increased by over 30% in the last week of March compared to the last week of January, with more than 50% increase in areas most impacted by the virus. Of course, the trend is similar on other social media platforms, and Zoom numbers are skyrocketing. So welcome with me on stage today. I'm lucky to have three friends with me, Angelo, Omar, and Stéphane. And maybe I try to sit with them. Oops, sit on your side, Omar. Let's start with Angelo. You are a designer. You are a designer. Oops, sorry. Angelo, you're a designer and a filmmaker. You're an associate at NoDesign in Paris. Can you tell us, well, can you introduce yourself and tell us the kind of work, the kind of projects you work on?
Yeah, of course. So, hello, everybody. I hope everyone hears me fine. Do we have actually the slides on the screen? Because I just see a blank screen on my side.
Yeah, sorry. Could you please press on the refresh button that is on the top right corner of the screen?
Yeah, let me do that. Sorry about that.
Everybody has to do that because basically each screen is identified to each computer. So every individual who has that issue has to press the refresh button for the screen.
Like this.
If you refresh it, no,
showing us that Bertier has control.
Yeah, what does it do? Can I refresh it here?
Okay.
It
doesn't change anything?
Load error. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, I'm reloading Crankwheel.
And please, when you copy the link, copy the one that is just underneath the email address, not the that is below there. Read the one that is like, let me tell you. Read the one, yeah, next to the email address and not one that says share with other users.
Okay. Okay, let me try this again. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Come on. Why cannot I cannot put it into the presentation tool for some reason.
Ariel, là?
Oui, ça y est, je suis là.
Okay.
Bertier?
Ouais, écoute, j'arrive pas à mettre le lien dans. Je suis bien sur Crankwheel, mais j'arrive pas à mettre le lien, j'arrive pas à refresh la barre du presentation tool.
Donc tu as bien ton URL en bas. Tu as partagé le bon écran, tu as l'URL et tu ne peux pas le copier, c'est ça?
Ouais, d'accord. C'est juste pour regarder pour être sûr de pas.
Dear everybody, sorry for the small technical issues. We will try to resolve it as quick as possible to get back to the presentation. Please wait a little bit. Thank you.
Okay.
Oops, sorry about that. Vous m'entendez?
Oui, on t'entend.
Okay, so Angelo, I was introducing you. Did you have time to introduce yourself?
Yes, so
yeah, I'm working on the slide meanwhile.
Yeah, I'll start introducing myself and talking about NoDesign. So my name is Angelo CHACCHIO. I'm a designer and filmmaker, associated designer at NoDesign, a Parisian design studio founded by Jean-Louis Fréchin. And we work with design and innovation, digital innovation, since the studio was born in the early 2000s. And today we work with both startups and larger companies. We help them develop their products and services using digital innovation. What I wanted to show you today is how we use augmented reality and virtual reality in some of our projects to create powerful tools that actually empower the user and create new tools, new features. And this also, of course, can apply to social VR as well.
Well, thank you, Angelo. So I'm sorry about the slides. I'm sorry. Thank you, Angelo. I'm sorry about the slides. Omar, you work for Spatial Corp in Colorado. What is it you're doing there? What kind of company is that?
Hey, hi, everyone. I'm Omar. I am the director of marketing for a company called Spatial, which is actually a subsidiary of Dassault Système here in Colorado. We basically are reselling, 3D technologies and expertise from Dassault Systems to people who want to build 3D applications. So, from additive manufacturing to simulation, and of course, for people who want to build augmented and virtual reality. So basically, when you build an app, why would you code all the import-export where you can just get it from a company like us? We will maintain it. We will do all of this for you. And by the way, if you have any question, I saw that our Vice President of Business Development, Mr. Frédéric Jacquemin, is in the room. So feel free to grab him and chat with him about any question in terms of how we can help.
Well, thank you, Omar. And my last guest is Stéphane MAGUET. You are a technologist at French company VR Social, in charge of VR projects and innovation. Can you tell us a bit more about you and what you do at VR Social?
Thanks, Bertier. Do you hear me?
Yes, I'm trying to solve screen issues, but I hear you perfectly.
Okay, so as you said, I'm Stéphane MAGUET, head of innovation of We Are Social. We Are Social is a socially creative agency with 15 offices in more than 10 countries. So I drive a R&D and creative studio around immersive technology and social media. And we are very focused on virtual world, avatars, and how they can become the future of social media. We work for Renault, Orange, big company, BNP Paribas, Google, etc. And for instance, we delivered 3 years ago the Pit Stop VR with the French studio was called Backlight. And it was a multi-user location-based game for Renault Sport. It was a social VR, but location-based, IRL. Before that, I used to run Numeris Cosa, an art gallery in Paris dedicated to media artists. I mean, artists working with technology. And 20 years ago, a very long time before the rise of social media, I worked for Le Deuxième Monde. Le Deuxième Monde, a virtual Paris in 3D, released by Canal Plus and Creo Interactive. And I'm very glad to talk, to be there this afternoon and to talk about virtual worlds in a virtual world.
Well, thank you, Stéphane. I don't know what's going on with those slides, but we will. So we will just move on. So my first question was, what will VR bring to social? And I'm looking at. And well, actually, the plan is what will VR bring to social? What does it take to make VR social? With the elephant in the room, that's what we are going to discuss in the 25 minutes. And Omar, I'd like to start with you. The internet is full of you. You are on every social network, including TikTok. Your avatar looks just like you. If people could see my slides. Oh, here we are.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Maybe I hope everybody see the slide, but that's Omar on the top left and that Im on stage. You're a connector. You throw amazing parties in real life. So what will VR bring to your social life?
Well, you know, I think one of the reasons first why I create those crazy parties here in real life, it's because I want to create emotion. And emotion for me, but it's also emotions for my friends who are coming to those parties. So if I look at AR and VR experiences I've had so far, from tested a lot of devices, went everywhere. There were really like three experiences that recreated a very strong emotion for me. The first one is actually a video game. It's Space Channel 5 VR on PlayStation. And the reason it created a lot of emotion for me, it's because I used to play that game like crazy in the late 90s on Sega Dreamcast. So, being able to be in that game, it was feeling like being like a little kid, and being to interact with my favorite characters was really good. The second game was also, the second experience with emotion was also another game. It was Vader Immortal, that's on Oculus. And it was great because I was finally in Star Wars, I could play a role in there. So I had that emotion there. And again, like that comes from, being a small kid and seeing all those games and all those spaceships and being in there. It was really fun. The only one caveat there is that it really required a huge room to be able to experience the entire world. But aside from that, it was really, really crazy. And then, I'm going to refer to the last emotion I really had. It was on a rooftop in Paris with actually our friend here, Rick Trewick was in the room, and there was for the experience he has created with Eden Labs called The Lost Botanist. And that created so much emotion just by being on there, recreating that, having that, being that new story I didn't know. And that was really, really strong. But, none of those experiences were actually social VR. The only social part that was with it is that because the Vader game, I was playing it with my friend Gregory, which I think also is in the room from Trimble, and Rick in Paris. I interacted afterwards, so I had my personal emotion, and then I started talking in real life with my friend. So that's kind of my issue today, is that I know only 2 people or maybe 3 who have those VR headsets, and I cannot share those emotions with them. We all moved to Zoom with the COVID-19, so we all do like those Zoom parties. And it's easy because people can just do this customization of their virtual backgrounds, dress up and dance with us. We put a DJ on and boom, that's it. We have our online party. It's not nothing VR. So I think until VR worlds are as easy to create and to share with everyone as it would be to put a virtual background in Zoom, it will be very difficult to transfer an emotion to a VR social party for sure. So really a VR app that will enable people to customize and create an experience will be an inclusive one, you know, having people from all ages being able to be there, and that's what will be adopted. So I think that's what's going to take to do some social work.
Well, that was a long answer to a short question, but thank you. I know you're very prolific on this topic. Well, but you really think VR is useful to being social? Is there the other way around? Maybe, and maybe Stéphane and Angelo, you feel free to jump in and cut him off. Who wants to take it? Nobody? Omar, that was addressed to you.
Yeah. No, I spoke too much. I think it's time now for a little exchange.
Okay. So I repeat my question: is VR really useful to being social? And maybe Stéphane, you have a point of view before we jump to the next section.
Is it useful for? Can you repeat? I didn't understand.
Is VR really useful to being social?
Yes, I think because it's more immersive, but I think people must have the choice depending the context of the connection. For instance, on Second Life, sometimes I want to have a full immersive experience, and I will have an helmet, and sometimes I have no time, and I will just open my client on desktop. That's depend on what you expect, I think.
Okay, so actually that will bring us to the next question, and maybe Angelo, you can take this one. And I'm going too fast, but before moving to the next section, how do you represent yourself in VR? In aesthetics, the uncanny valley is a hypothesized relationship between the degree of an object's resemblance to a human being and the emotional response to such an object. And as a designer, what is your take? What can you bring to the table on this type of thing, on this topic?
Yeah, I think before talking about social, we need to talk about virtual representation. So what is a virtual image and what it can convey. So if you move to the next slide, so there are basically two main, there are more than that, but there are basically a virtual image that can represent something as it is or as it should be. So, you know, a drawing, a blueprint, or a painting from Canaletto. Or could be an image that is, you know, is far from reality, is a blur reality that sometimes it's even more powerful because it evokes more than reality, more than what the real image can evoke. And this is proved by the success of paintings of Claude Monet, you know, so Impression Sunrise, it's everywhere, you know, it's painting in t-shirts, calendars, and this kind of stuff. So I think it's really important to know this. And then after once you know this, then you can apply to every project, depending if you want to create functionality, or as Omar was saying, emotion or poetry. You know, depends on what is your goal. And in social, probably, you know, we need to, you know, to find this different kind of visualization representation, depending on what we want to do. And with our project and the design, we really tried really different kinds of reality. And you know, maybe I don't know if you have an next question, but later maybe I can show you something.
Yeah, so actually, you're a filmmaker, and I know you worked on all Parrot drones that are great flying cameras. Well, could these interfaces bring to social VR? And I know you've got slides. Tell me if you want to move on.
Yeah. Hello. One thing, as a filmmaker, I always, was interested in innovation, and the biggest innovation in the last 5 years were drones and 360 cameras. And with 360 cameras, you can shoot actually VR videos and pictures. This also is social because you can share a situation, being a documentary or an event, a live event. You can share it in 360, and I think this is really important. With drones, you have a different experience because your eye and your presence, your physical position, they're actually separated. So actually, your eye can go 1 kilometer far away, and you can see something different. And it's not virtual; it's actually still reality. It's just a distant reality. And when we did, for instance, with power drones, we work a lot with them, and we did, follow me. There was actually, on the left-hand side of the screen, where you can actually see yourself in a sort of augmented reality because the drone was tracking you. So you had to select yourself, and then the drone will follow you on its own. And on the right, you can see FPV piloting that is used for, racing drones, but is also used to just experiment an immersive flight to a beautiful landscape. And this is a different kind, of VR, of reality that is is interesting for this new kind of cameras. But if you move to previous slides, there are also a project that we did, and back in 2008, 2009. And this is something that is more interesting because it was augmented reality before augmented reality went mainstream, in really not so powerful phone. It was just the iPhone 3GS and iPhone 4.
So what is it? Is that like a QR code and something coming up on your screen? What was the project?
Yeah. It was basically a wallpaper that became a digital interactive wallpaper because he had some, personalized custom QR code that we created that were recognized by a app we designed. And every QR code was showing, a message, a picture. So with the app, you can leave messages hidden on the wall. So this is more like the poetic side, of you can use, but the usage was actually really social because you can leave a hidden message, to your girlfriend, and then she will discover it on the wall while exploring the wallpaper. And this shows that actually, you can create new interfaces because something that is really physical, it's just a printed pattern, becomes interactive and digital.
Interesting. Thank you, Angelo. I know you have a couple of other slides. You don't need me to just quickly go there. Well, okay. We were talking about augmented perception. I'm sorry, we're trying to catch up with the schedule because we have this live stream from Second Life coming up just after. Oh, this is interesting. What is reduced reality when everybody in the room is all talking about augmented or mixed or virtual reality? What would be reduced reality?
So yeah, the question is, should we, if I go back to my first slide, should we represent copy reality, or should we actually sublimate it, just take the most important information that is needed to convey emotion and function, and to just use this. With this project here, it's Woblog. There's a link to a video, but I'll just talk about the project. It was a project we did in 2008 at NoDesign, and it's basically just a simple communication device where you have a weak, soft communication. There is a webcam, but you never see the other person on the other side. You just see an avatar, a small avatar in low resolution, these small LED screens on the two sides, and you can interact with this person in a really simple, soft way, just playing Pong or just waving. And this is really, it's a different kind of reality, it's a different kind of communication, and it's a social object because it just connecting two people that are far away. But you don't need, high resolution 3D and a lot of texture. You just need a simple way to convey emotion.
Well, thank you very much, Angelo. That is really interesting. And actually, also, we were talking about interfaces, representation in VR, and Stéphane, I know you've been working on Facebook Horizon that will roll out shortly, and of course there will be another world for avatars and self-representation. So can you tell us more about what's coming and what are you able to tell us on Facebook Horizon?
Okay.
Oh, I've got your slides.
Let's stay on this one. Is there any elephant in the room? I think it's a blue elephant. And what can we say about the famous Facebook Horizon virtual world? First, let's refresh our memory. 4 years ago, Mark Zuckerberg buy Oculus company for $2 billion. And last year, in September, Facebook has announced the Horizon virtual world for next year, so now. And 1 month ago, the beta is open in a coronavirus context. And we must admit we don't know a lot of things about Horizon yet, and we imagine there is a strong DNA on each beta tester. During the conference, Mark Zuckerberg said it was a brand new platform. So despite Mark Zuckerberg, virtual world exists nearly since the beginning of internet. And what we have seen the virtual reality rebirth in 2 years ago, and the birth of new virtual worlds. For instance, with Altspace VR was been bought by Microsoft 1 year ago. You can connect from any device. Even the HoloLens is compatible with Microsoft reality platform. And we can imagine they will have a B2B application. The second world, the
Second Life.
Second Life, sorry. The Second Life is born in nearly 20 years ago, 16 years ago, and is still alive with a strong community, real economy, and most of people don't actually connect in VR, but with a simple client like Virbela. There is also VR Chat, very popular and chaotic virtual world. You can build your own world inside. And there is a French company which is called Vroom, was set up an offer in VR Chat in order to manage an online cultural event as concert, festival, exhibition. And there is so there is a lot of different virtual worlds. So what is new with Facebook? So why Facebook Horizon is special? Because in my own opinion, Facebook has a strong ecosystem, and Horizon can rely on it. Because first, they've got a large audience of 2 billion monthly active users, and the habits of the Facebook platform. And they also have the hardware with Oculus Go, Oculus Rift S, and the game changer Oculus Quest. And they also have the content. Since 6 months, Facebook has bought a lot of gaming studio, like they bought Beat Saber.
Yeah, Stéphane, sorry to interrupt you, but are we going to manage our avatar in Facebook Horizon, just like we manage our Facebook page already? Is that what we are trying? Is that where we're going?
Yes. Because
is that a Tamagotchi world online? Am I in my own Tamagotchi? What is it here?
We don't know yet, but it will. We will see a strong convergence between Horizon and Facebook, and I imagine you will have only one account, and for instance, in Australia, since 3 months, you can have some 2D avatars in your messenger. So it's gonna.
Really, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yes, and it's gonna be a construction. This convergence is gonna be a construction step by step.
So, but every cell phone, every cell phone already has come with Facebook, Twitter, WeChat, Snapchat. Well, you name it. You know, do you need? Would you need a VR headset to do this? To go to Facebook Horizon? Is there a 2D version as well? Do you know anything about that?
I think that depends on the context. If you need a more immersive experience with body language, facial expression, etc., you will, or gaming, you will need to take your headset. But if you just have to give an appointment or check your box later. I think an app on your smartphone can be sufficient.
So I'm sorry because we're running out of time. We have 4 minutes left, and just in order to move on, your slide on the screen. So in Facebook Horizon, you can have avatars, you can create, you can play, you can socialize and go to events, and I think that's pretty much it. And before we go, maybe we can take a couple of questions, and I have a last one for each of you. Angelo, what would you like to see next in social VR? And that's the same question for all three of you. So, Angelo.
Like personally, like during these times of lockdown, I was really thinking of being able to transmit this presence. When you're having meetings, sometimes it's really just looking at the screen. It's quite tiring for all day. So probably VR can really help in having these meetings. Maybe Facebook Horizon will help with that, because they have a lot of the platforms capable of doing that. But I think design can help in that, doing what I was saying, that just representing and giving the aesthetics of just what this really makes sense for the user and for the use we want to have, and not just creating immersive, hyper realistic worlds. They have too much information and can be tiring.
Interesting. Omar, what you want to see next in social VR?
For me, and that's the interest with Facebook Horizon, I guess. Facebook knows so much about me and a lot of us here that I can't wait for my avatar just to answer questions for me automatically and just bring me up when it doesn't know how to answer. So that's why my new picture is that Bella avatar pushing me out of a Zoom call, because I would love for that Omar virtual to be able to answer the vast majority of the questions.
I think we still have the picture in the presentation for. Okay, so it's actually your avatar kicking you out of your Zoom call, and you're dressed up like your avatar. That's funny.
Because I'm true to the people that I share with. So yeah.
Interesting. And Stéphane, same question. What would you like to see next in social VR?
First of all, I would like to see artworks and creators with a dedicated district, and maybe also a red district.
Okay. So what? So last bit. We have 3 minutes or 2 minutes left. Maybe can we take a couple of questions in the room, please, if any? No questions? Wow.
Yeah, I see a question in the public. It's Jimbar Wywill. I'm sorry if I pronounced it. Please, could you ask your question?
Sure. So less is more. Question is, what is less and what is more? Short question with a short answer, I'm sure.
So would you address that question too? Less is
Anybody
more.
who can answer it in the next minute and a half.
Yeah, maybe I can
Omar.
answer really fast on that. It's not so much about less, but just about going to the essential, you know, to go into an essential and leave space for imagination when needed. Every different project, you know, has its less and its more. Everything depends on what's the goal and what's the final use, the final, what we say, the final power of action you want to give to the user. It's not so much about the experience, it's about what the user at the end can do in your product, in your service, in your virtual space.
Well, thank you, Angelo, for taking this one for the team. So if there are any questions, I'm sure anybody here on stage will be happy to answer you. You can connect with us on Twitter, and Ludmila, if we're ready, I think we're ready on the other side to join you with from Second Life in Virbela at Laval Virtual with Reuben STEIGER, founder of Billions of Us, John Lester from Billions of Us, Ebbe ALTBERG, founder and CEO of Linden Lab, and Robert Scoble, blogger and tech evangelist. So we just need a couple of minutes maybe to switch the feed, and I will see you in a few minutes from the other world.
And thank you, Bertier, for organizing that panel.
Yes, thanks a lot, Bertier.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us.
Angelo, c'était bien?
Cool.
On vous entend. Thank you, Ophélie.
Jean-Louis.
So I'm not sure do we change the world, Ophélie?
Bertier?
Oui.
C'est bien?
Bah écoute, on est encore dans la salle, mais on va passer sur Second Life maintenant.
Oui, il faut juste un petit instant pour charger le live sur YouTube et ensuite pour que moi je puisse d'un Virbela.